Hey y'all,
Hey, what's up?
how's it going?
It's going good. Anxious to get back with my M2 though.
Yeah.
Have a lot
Hey,
of
do I,
projects, so
I got your email. So yeah, have you had any luck flashing Arduino?
no, I was trying to understand a few things. Um, Now it's talks in there about do you have to upgrade the Adreno also?
Yes, so to flash the firmware. And that's what I mentioned. Like I can show everybody how to do that if you want to do that in this, because I'm making that video this week to walk through it. I'm gonna do it like this afternoon. Um,
Okay, so there were questions I had I think it was describing the do board I have where it's talking about heat shields and I had that blew me when I had
yeah,
no
yeah,
clue.
totally. So you have an M2, and I moved the link to be on our website where you can just click on the correct one because it's confusing on GitHub for sure to find out like which one you want to do.
A lot.
So,
What they install that from the Makerverse.
so you can go straight to our website. So first you need
Okay.
Arduino though to download Arduino. So
Okay,
have
I've
you downloaded
downloaded it.
Arduino? Okay, sweet. So then here, let me drop the link here. I'll drop the link to our resources page so you can find it. All right. Resources. Yeah, we wanted to have it a little bit easier to get to.
Yeah, I got mad at the PC and I turned it off for 2 days. I had another job to work on, so.
There we go. I'll put this in the chat for y'all. There we go. So on the resources, that is the firmware that you want to download for the M2.
Yes. Okay, I got that downloaded.
So it says download latest M2 firmware.
I did it earlier. I got it not from the M2 site.
Okay. But so
You
that's
want me?
the main one. Yeah. So if you have Maslow, then you have to, if like the first iteration, then you have to modify it a little bit. But for the M2 do, you don't have to.
I don't have to modify anything. Just
No.
go
You should
ahead
be
and install it. And that's done through Windows or
with
the
Arduino.
Maker.
Yeah. So are you on your computer right now?
I really don't understand the Arduino. I haven't seen what I assume the Arduino is what you were seeing in the Makerverse application, where you see the window with all the code in it.
Are you on your computer right now that you have it downloaded on?
No, I'm on my iPad out in the shop. I don't get very good internet out in the shop, so I'm using my phone on my iP to
Yeah.
go to my iPhone and do the meeting.
So what you'll do is you'll take your open Arduino, and then once you open Arduino,
Where is Arduino? Does
that's the
it?
one that you download. So
I have to install that,
yes,
and I
and you
just
can
do
just download
that.
the latest version.
So
There
I
you go.
download it, and install it through Windows.
Yes.
I couldn't find the
So it'll be in
executable.
downloads right here. There you go. I'll post it right here for you. So that is the software that runs the do board. So what you'll
Yes.
do is you'll have that firmware packet that you downloaded, and then you'll unzip that, and then inside there's a little file called Marlin .ini, and that
Okay.
it's do. It's sorry, Marlin's the 3D printer version. It's like Maslow.ini, I think is the exact name of it. And then you will double click on that, and that will open it in Arduino. And then you'll plug your board in, and then with your board plugged in, then you will select like where it tells you to select the do board, the Arduino do, and you might have to install it if it's an older version too. And then it'll tell you though, it'll like have a little board selection, and then you'll pick that, and then you'll say choose your port that it's connected to, which it should connect, and then you'll just say upload. And then if it's not connected right, then it will upload it. And I can show you if you want to see.
Yeah, that would really help. And then I need an internet connection to do that. And then when I installed Makerverse. I started up. It wants a username and password. Is that the same one I did for the website, or is this totally something different? and new?
It's something different, but you can use the same one for the website if you want to. Yeah, it just has that because it's web-based. So it has that password on there.
So then that means I'll have to have, whenever I use it in the shop, I'll need the web?
I believe you can do it offline once you get logged in. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's just the first time it needs to be connected. But I can check into that for you for sure. Let me go here.
I live in a rural area. There's not really great internet.
Alrighty, so if I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen with you guys so you can see it. Okay, so there's our Zoom meeting. So I have this open up, and it's open with Marlon right now, which is fine, which is Arduino. So we'll open up our Maslow do master, and then double click on Maslow do, and then in here, there's this Maslow do file right here, this .ino.
Yes.
And then that's what we'll double click on, and then that will open it in Arduino. And then you have your board plugged in, like I've got mine plugged in right here. And then up here on the top, where it says tools, you want to make sure that you have this one right here, this Mega, Arduino Mega 2560. And then this one selected right here for processor too. And then on port, you'll choose your USB port. So here's my USB port right here. And then you click this button right here that says upload. And then this is going to take a second because it's got to compile it. And then once it compiles it, it'll bring it together and load it on there.
Okay. So you're doing this within a Arduino app or Arduino program?
Yes. So that's within Arduino.
I don't know where that is.
So that's the link that I posted on there over on the side.
And that's a web-based app?
No, you'll have to download it on your computer. So you'll download
Okay, I got you now. All right.
Does that make sense?
Can you go back to that error message?
Yes.
I tried to do that and I got the error message.
I just saw that too.
There was some library that wasn't.
I believe, and I haven't flashed this on my Mac yet, so it might not have the right library. So this is
I get
this one.
I get the same problem on mine.
So let's go ahead and make sure that we're on the right port. Let's see. We have this programming port selected, and so we can click verify here. So that kind of compiles it to see if everything's together. So let's see. Might as well do no file directory.
Yeah.
So it's looking for this file. So what exactly is that? I'm not sure about what that file is, but I am going to find out. So I flashed this on my Mac a while ago. So it's weird that that's popping up. So I'm guessing that that's something to do in the folder, like something's missing in the folder.
I got the same error when I tried to do it on Linux, and I am understanding it's some kind of library that's missing, but
okay,
I was able to
let me-
find that library.
And that's something too. Mike, do you know what that is? What that library is?
actually, you have to on that one. There, I've ran into a couple of complications with that. There's sometimes you have to actually. I took a screenshot of a lot of stuff a while back. I just have to find all the photos. And of
There's a driver, I think, that some
the bottom it says install like update drivers, and you hit that, and then you update a driver, and then there's a little thing that says that comes down that says updatable or something like that, and then you click that, and only the updatable ones, and then you have to find, I think it's something 32, but I'll find the picture of it. But everyone is different. Sometimes you have to also make sure your Windows your Defender is off. So as well.
okay, yeah, because Chris mentioned something about with some Windows computers you might need like a specific driver.
Yeah, I got a message from Windows that don't trust this.
Oh yeah, so it will say that when you download it.
Yeah, it will say that you have to trust it. If you don't trust it, it ain't gonna open.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
not
yeah,
making Bill Gates rich, so don't trust it.
Yeah, I want to say it could be in the library itself. So let me look and see, in the the board info library, like in the boards manager, and make sure that I have the most updated version. I believe I do. Yeah, I've got the AVR board right here. Maybe I'll download the most updated one and make sure that that one's installed. I've got 1.8.3. Yeah, so I have the newest one. So I'm gonna get with Chris and figure that out. It's just one of the things that we want to do is try to make this as easy as possible. So I'm gonna get with Chris and I'll get with Mike too, and then we'll figure out what those Arduino errors are, because that's what I want to have that video and have like documentation on it and all of that about the different errors that might pop up. Because when I did this on my computer, I flashed several of them a couple weeks ago, and it gave me an error, but then it still compiled and loaded and worked fine. Because it's still compiled. The biggest thing is to like get it to compile. So I'm wondering if something is missing.
And sometimes you actually, y'all have to make sure y'all extract it.
Yes.
You have to actually like right click and extract. And
Try
if you
different
try to extract,
version.
open it itself by itself, yes, it looks like it's opened, but it's not really extracted. That's what Zane had mentioned to me.
Yeah.
Zane had mentioned to me, I was like, he's like, well, how are you doing it? And I told him, this is when I first started. I'm like, well, I opened it up. He's like, did you open it up just like that and right click to where it's at, or did you actually right click on it, extract it to a certain
Yes.
file?
Okay.
You're just reading the zip file.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
It has that little
You have
thing
to
on top.
extract it. Yes. So you have to extract it, and then you open that up with the Arduino software, and then
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does, yes.
Let's see.
So I just seen the link. I went to the link, so I see the web page.
Yeah, it's missing a directory, it looks like. So I'll find out what that is and get it posted on there.
Where should I file a bug? I'm familiar with like doing software engineering. Should I file a bug somewhere, or where?
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to go to Git, you can file one right on there. So
So
and it might
Git
already
side.
Yeah, here I'll get the link again. Here we go.
What's up? I'm gonna zoom in. No, you're good. You're good. 100 pound. What? Alice?
Horrible babies. So
And there we go. Here's the correct one. So there you go, Matt.
Okay.
There's a link to the Git. Yeah, and you can put an error in there, and it might be in there already. I haven't looked through the bugs to see. It might already be in there and have a solution.
I don't see an issues, like is it turned on to create issues? I see you can create a pull request.
Oh, it might not be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's new pull request, but I don't see like issues. And I'm familiar with creating repositories, and you can.
Yeah, it should have a little like issues tab. Yeah, in the Marlin one, it does have that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'll have to follow up with Chris about that too, because there should totally be an issues thing so we can post it on there. So yeah, I'll ask Chris about that when I go through this. He's not feeling well this week, so I'll ask him.
All right. Thanks, man. That's the problem I've been having, is that exact library, and I'm on Linux rather than Windows, so it's a challenge to to try to figure out what I need to install, because I'm sure I can find it. I just don't know what library. I actually found that directory in my computer. It's just, I don't know if it's not in the path or whatever. So
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And I'm gonna open it up on my Windows right here too that I've got and see if if I get the same error, if it compiles all right. Let's see. Because it might be a Mac specific or a Linux specific thing. Because I think Macs run off of a Linux base, don't they? I believe. So it could be.
Similar. They're a different operating system, but they're very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So my Windows one just compiled like perfectly. It's with no errors or anything. Yeah. So it has the same board and everything on it. And let's see. I wonder if it's my version of Arduino that I'm using. No, that's 1.8.13. Yeah.
Has anybody had any issues with MacBook updating the MacBook?
Not that I've heard of. Casey, do you use a Mac?
Yeah,
Any issue?
I don't have. Whenever I did the compile, it worked fine. It's
Yeah,
about
I know. See, that's what happened with another customer, Eric. He had two laptops, Windows, and we couldn't get it to work. And then so his wife has a MacBook, and she's like, "No, you can't use it. You can't use it." He's like, "Well, let me just try it," because she has all her professional stuff. You know, she does. I don't know what she does, but anyways, he's like, "Well, let me just use it real quick to see if it works." And so I updated it like within less than 12, 13 minutes, honestly. And we had the thing going up and down, you know? So it's something to do with the Windows.
Yeah, it took me maybe 10 minutes. I had to go back and forth on that video somebody made on GitHub, and that thing is really blurry. It's a really poor video. Yeah. So when they said click on tools, I was trying to look at it and see, what are you clicking on? What are you know, but
I couldn't get any sound from it.
It loaded really well. It loaded quick, and I haven't had any problems with it. There are some bugs in Makerverse, and I think it's because of the firmware, actually. Does anybody have any problems with your system before you're running a job? Sometimes you'll go in and you'll be trying to position it, and it just becomes unresponsive.
Which version are you using of Makerverse?
The newest one.
The newest one.
What is it?
1.1.2.
The latest one.
Okay.
So I did the firmware and the software all at one time. But sometimes whenever I'm trying to position it on the board and reset a work home position, it'll just become unresponsive. I have to hit reset, turn it off, turn it back on, and it works just fine.
Yeah, so this is on my Windows. It just compiles and works perfectly. Done compiling, no errors. And I've got the same board here, the Arduino do here.
Do you have let me ask you a question. Do you have
Make sure
another
it's on the programming port? Let's see, maybe my Mac's not on the programming port.
Do you have another laptop there?
I do, yeah. So I have my my desktop and then this one. I wonder if it's on the programming port. That might be why. Let me look. Because I know it has to be on the programming port, and maybe that's why.
And see, and some Windows software, you have to open up that port because a couple of them are open. Yeah. I don't know why. I've noticed that.
Yeah, and I will tell everybody that the new system, the new software, the new update firmware, it prefers a USB 3.0, not a 2.0.
Yes, a 3.0. It prefers.
And that's because of the baud rate and the speed. So I had a 2.0 on mine and a 3.0. They're built into this Mac, and it wouldn't even let me choose the 2.0. It went right to the 3.0.
Yeah. So yeah, Matt.
On the right-hand side, and that's my mouse. So I got a cable running out of my mouse side.
Yeah. You have the USB-C or USB?
So this compiled when I selected the port, the programming port. Here, let me share my whole screen so you can see it.
Are you back on
that might have been it now? So when I clicked on to here, I made sure that it didn't have it selected. So when I go down here to my boards, make sure that it's the Arduino do programming port right there, not the native. So this didn't have on my Mac just now. It didn't have either one of these checked. So making sure that that programming port is checked, that could be it. Because this is what it did for me last time when I did it on my Mac. It gave me these errors, but it compiled.
That's what mine did.
And so as long as it says done compiling, then you're good. And then I sent these to to Chris and Zane working on it, so they would see these different errors. But as long as it compiles, I've been doing stuff with it. So
Okay. And
so that could be it then. So make sure it's tools and then the board, and then this Arduino ARM, and it says 32-bit.
Okay. And then, but it's just a matter of getting the firmware on the board once. So like if I can find a computer that'll work with it, I just need to get it there once and then not have to worry about it. Because
Yep.
I think it's up to the latest version right now. I think it came that way, but I don't know. I can, I'll work on it. But
it should be. You should have the latest version. So you'll know if you plug in Makerverse 1.1.2,
Yep.
it'll give you that firmware. And if that firmware version lines up, you're good.
It does. So
you're great then. Yeah, you're golden.
I just thought maybe it did something else that I wasn't aware of. So.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the newest version that's on there. So yeah, it kind of like lines it up in Makerverse. It says like which version is the most current one, and it's a link to GitHub. And then it's if you don't have that one, and then it says yours, and those numbers should line up. And it's a whole series of numbers. I'm not exactly sure which ones they are.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of a date. So
yeah, I think it's all initialed out there.
Hey guys. Hey Drew.
Hey, how's it going, Drew?
Good. Hey, I've got Kai here. He's what do you call it? He's the he's been with us for months now, but he's learning the Maslow's now and everything else. So he's gonna be listening. He may have questions and stuff like that too. And we want to build a small one like yours too next.
Sweet. Yeah.
So
right on.
Does
anybody have any questions then?
Yeah. Hey, Drew, it's Chris.
Yeah. Hey, Chris.
I built one. I'm in the process of building one like yours in the back. Actually, cut its first 12-inch square this past weekend, so I'm making progress. I'm curious though. I'm not using easel to do any of my modeling. I'm using Fusion 360. So
yeah, that's fine.
As part of the setup and config, you guys go through this. They're tunables. The $102 equals 756 or whatever it is for easel. If you're not using easel, do you need to make that change in the do board?
No. So I don't. Well,
there was two.
Sure.
There was $102 and $3, right?
Yeah. So it sets your Z. That sets like your Z. If you're not using easel, then I don't believe so.
Okay.
And the new version of Makerverse has that already programmed for it. So Makerverse 1.1.2, that already has that in there. So, and it has a Z-axis calibration too, where it will calibrate that value for you. And then you choose if it is, if you're going to invert your Z-axis or not, like when you do that initial setup, and it'll kind of like walk you.
Yeah, it seems, it plunged. So it seems like it's going in the right direction. I didn't change the dollar, but I was curious about what that $102 was for easel.
Right? It is the steps per millimeter, I believe.
Okay, because default it's like 900 and something. So, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
All right. So if I'm not using easel to generate the G code, if I'm using Fusion, then your opinion is that I don't need to change that value then?
I don't think so. I think it should be good because that's going to be in like it's in the Makerverse side.
Yes.
So if you're using Makerverse with another G code, I think it'll be good, and because it'll have your settings that are in there perfectly. I think that is just a specific thing to easel. But that's a good question though, and I need to know that myself because I've only generated G code from easel. So
yeah, it seemed to work okay out of the box. I didn't because it says in the setup manual, and you say in your setup videos for easel. So
specifically for easel.
Yeah. Okay. And then the second question I had, if you don't mind, my setup is like exactly like the one behind you. So, and I've coiled up the springs. Like I said, it seems to work okay. How tight is that spring when the sled is in the center of your wasteboard?
It's not super tight. It's mostly like holding it on there when it's on there in the center, because I wanted it to be able to go all the way down to the bottom corners and have it kind of stretched out. So it's pretty loose. And when it comes up here to the top too, it droops down.
Okay, it does droop. All right, so
I think it being smaller.
I just wanted to make sure that I had that right. So then I've got that thing set pretty well then.
Awesome.
And did you use those auxiliary runners for the chains. They come with the larger nails with the white cylinders.
Yes. I was
What
just
do
going to
you-
recommend that because
what are
I
you
have to
using those
use
for?
those because they click off my the chains when it's moving
Yeah.
around because it
Mhm.
doesn't really have as big of a space. It will move around and the chains will move and kind of get stuck on each other. So what I did is I put them over on the edges so when the top chain comes down, it doesn't get in the way and it kind of
All right,
keeps
so you're
it separate.
so it's to keep the chains from snagging on each other when it moves. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and
I got
moves
it. I got it. Other than that, the suggestion about the 1 inch where you anchored the chains that you gave me the last
That
time I
helps.
was on worked perfect. I mean, the thing
Awesome.
almost right out of the box. I got a perfect 12-inch square, so it was
That's
good.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Thanks, man.
You bet. Yeah, see ya.
Hey fellas, Sebastian here. I got a question if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
So we've
I can help
got the Maslow calibrator and everything,
Yeah,
and every time we start it again, I got to redo the calibration, like it loses all the values. And I try to re-import the old values that I copied, and it won't do anything. It won't put the chain length. It won't do. It's just blank.
Okay. Are you using a Maslow 1 or an M2? Does it have a
I'm
blue
using
sled?
Maslow 1.1.2.
Is your sled blue?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. And so it's an M2. So it should hold all of that data because all of that is saved on there. So when you on your what version of Makerverse are you using?
That's the one
You just said-
1.1.2.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So in your workspace, it should have all that information saved. So when you go back to your workspace, and then like if you click on calibrate, do you
Yeah.
see all the same values that you first put in there?
That's the thing. It doesn't. Like the chain length right now says 3360,
Okay.
and mine is actually 3270.
And then when you change that value, it doesn't save it.
When I do, it saves it, but if I exit the program and come back to it, it reverts to that value.
Yeah, that's interesting. So one thing that is about the current version of Makerverse is you have to save each tab individually. So each tab is its own state. So as you're moving through, you have to apply each settings in each one of those tabs. You can't go
I've
all
done
the way
that.
through the whole thing and then apply at the end.
I've done that.
You did do that?
And when I get to the the export calibration thing,
Mhm.
I recorded all of those. So if I go back in there and I do paste, so I copy paste, so I can put the old values, I can't import it. Like if I click on import, it doesn't do anything.
So I haven't imported into the new version of Makerverse yet. Has anybody else done that? Has anybody imported calibration settings?
Yeah, I have.
Hold on. You have, Mike?
Yeah, I have. I actually have it like I don't have it connected. I would share my. Let me see if I can share my screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Have you had that issue, Mike, with it not saving your values? Because it's always saved mine. Unless you wipe your settings.
Yeah, it saves it even if you don't it'll save it for the most part. But if you save it and you put it like in a folder or something, like in a notebook or something, and let me see, I'm trying to.
Yeah, it should be saving it on your board though. So like when you plug it in, you should just be able to say home and it'll go to home, like right in the middle.
It doesn't. That's the thing.
So I wonder if something's up with your board. Then we might need to get you a new one. Because sounds like something might be weird with the flash memory of it. We could try flashing the firmware on it again to see if that's an issue.
We can
like we
definitely
could
try
reflash
that.
the
I mean, I
firmware.
know how to do that. But it's just weird. Like I don't know. How can I? Maybe I can share my screen. Let's see.
Yeah,
share
I see what you're saying.
Share screen. Here we go.
Yeah, you can share. I allowed you to share. So you
So
have
you see here all my values like chain length, all that stuff.
Yeah.
If I click on import, it does absolutely nothing.
Then it doesn't work.
And then if I go in machine, see the value says 3360 instead of what I did here, which was 3270.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a bug.
And all the calibration and all the precision stuff, nothing gets saved.
Okay. That actually happened to me and Eric. I wish he was on here. He's probably. He's another customer that I was with, and it wouldn't save it. But are you pushing apply and like
Yep, every one of them.
Yeah.
Like I did the machine, and then I did apply, and then I did stock, then
Right.
apply, all of them.
Okay, do me a favor on this one. This on your export, go to export calibration.
Yep.
Okay, and this is yours
Yes,
right
that's
now
the calibrated values.
that you put in.
Yep.
Okay, and so you copied and look. So basically, all this after you did your machine stock frame sled, all this it gives you your calibration right here.
Yep,
Which-
and I copied that to a notebook file or
Okay,
notepad
perfect.
file, whatever.
Okay.
And then I exited the program, came back to it, and it's all blank again. So I copied these values that you see right now,
Okay.
and I'm trying to import it, but it just simply won't take it.
I
Press
have
import.
a suggestion.
And you're connected to.
I have
to-
a suggestion.
Yeah.
It looks like there's double curly brackets at top, but there's not double ones at the bottom.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, maybe.
Ah, man, I was hoping that was it.
Nope, same thing.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Was a good guess though.
Yeah. So, can you do me a favor and can you either send me a private message with your email or email support@makermade.com,
Okay.
and then we will follow up and see and try to help you get to the bottom of it. Because if either reflashing the firmware, you said you tried that and that didn't work.
We haven't tried yet, so
Okay.
we can try that next.
So I would try that. I would try reflashing that the most recent firmware.
Okay.
That Maslow do that we were just looking at a second ago. I'd try to do that and see if there's something in there and see if that fixes the problem. And then if it doesn't fix the problem, then it sounds like it's an issue with your board and your flash memory, I think. Because it should hold all those values. That's one of the really cool things about that Do Shield is it holds all the values in it. So
Yeah,
you
there's
don't
nothing
have to
local, right?
recalibrate.
It's all in the installing the board.
Yeah, so exactly. So it should save it all on there.
Okay.
It should be saving those values even when you unplug it. So yeah.
All right. So I'll do these. I'll do the flash firmware later, and I'll keep you posted via the support email.
That sounds great. Yeah, and then we'll follow up with you and make sure.
All right. I got another quick question also.
Quand on a fini ici, là, c'est quoi le target distance from
What's the one that says target distance from edge?
So that is the edge of when you're doing your edge calibration. So the sled moves to each one of the corners and then the top center and the bottom center, and then you measure the distance of the edge of your sled and the side of the of your board, of your waste board. And that's something I'm working on trying to make this a little bit clearer to understand because it is kind of confusing. So if your sled is hanging off the edge, then it's a negative value. And then if your sled is inside the edge, then it's a positive value.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it says right there, like if it goes outside on the bottom, it says it's a negative value. So as you're going across, like it might be, negative 1.2 millimeters like over, and then like on the other side it might be +1 because it's inside a little bit, like +2 millimeters, and then you put that in each one of those values in there, and then a little button will pop up that says calibrate, and then you hit that, and then you apply those calibration settings, and then it will give you a pretty good estimate of how calibrated it is, and it will give you that calibration readout.
All right, makes sense.
All right.
But Drew, I have a quick question.
Yeah, what's up, Casey?
Is there any way to adjust the soft stops on my Z axis? My soft.
Yeah. You mean like how far up it goes?
Yeah, because I made a new dust collection system for it, and it's completely enclosed, so I don't want the bracket to slam into that board.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to be able to adjust that soft limit to where I can still cut all the way through, 1 inch board or 3/4 inch board.
It seems like there should be, because that was one of the things that I found in 1.1.2 that I did is like when you're doing the Z-axis calibration, if it goes outside that soft limit, it will like kick you out and give you an error.
Stop.
And yeah, exactly. And then you have to like reconnect it, and it was annoying to try to like, I had to basically like finagle it in the middle and then set it at 0 and then go and then calibrate it at 10 because it was off of that soft function. There's got to be a way to do it and a G code to do that. I will find out because I want to be able to I want to change that Z calibration to take that soft error off, or at least maybe expand it a little bit because it's on there so it doesn't like go too far down and pop the, your Z axis apart as it's trying to drive up, because that motor is super powerful. So as you're adjusting it, but there should be a way to kind of adjust it off of to make sure that you can like increase or decrease those limits based on like your materials and stuff like that. So I'll find out if there's a G code for you.
Yep.
All right.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah. What's everybody else doing?
You were making a new top beam, Drew? You said you were going to make a new top beam for yours, swinging beam?
Oh, I haven't yet. No.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm so my shed is going to arrive, I think, this week. And no, nice. That's awesome. I like that bracket that you got on the back there.
It's actually a piece of
cylinder
with a flange on it.
So you see Drew's in the background for like the bus.
And then drop the pipe.
Make you a road
I want to
thing.
remove
They're not bad.
the whole thing comes off.
and it's like held right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I moved the sled from one side to the other. It just slowly moves a little bit at a time. So nothing.
Not to scrape the bottom of the shoes now.
There's no nothing on the floor.
That's awesome, Casey. Yeah, so like I want to do that. So my shed is supposed to get here this week, but it is like sleety and gross outside, so I can't build it. I'm hoping that I'll have it built in like the next couple weeks, and then I'll move in there and I'll get a whole new background that I'm pretty pumped about to have like a full size. And I'm going to keep this one in there too. So I'll kind of have two in there, and I'll have my 3D printers won't be spread out all over the place. They'll all be in like one place. I'm looking forward to it. So
Hey.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I got a question whenever you're done.
Oh, go ahead.
What's up, dude?
Hey, Drew. Hey, so with Kai, like he's starting to learn everything else, and I'm trying to like do a bunch of other things too because we got some jobs. What do you think's the best tools for him to start with? He's been learning Fusion 360 for some other things, and all that. Right now, as far as somebody not an IT, not like a IT guy, like he's tech savvy on it. But like, what do you think's the best way for him to start, or what do you think the best? What would you recommend for somebody that like without you have to jump in and do training and stuff like that? What's the best way for him to train?
For design?
Well, for design and just going from design to creating files and then sending everything over to the Maslow.
So I've been using Fusion 360 for 2 weeks now, and I'm getting somewhat comfortable. Been consistently cutting stuff on a plasma cutter. So my understanding is that the transfer of information in G code to a Maslow is pretty similar. So I just don't know the best way to get that over there, so I can start cutting on it.
Where's your tutorials? I didn't know if you had a good YouTube video or something like that where I could have him do where it's like just a basic intro.
There's a really good one. I think Nick Barros did a really good one that's in the owners group that walks through how to export the G code for 360. I'm pretty sure that's in the owners group. So that's something that we want to do. So we're working on building out a knowledge base where we can get kind of all this stuff in one place and make it easier to find. Like the owners group is fantastic, but it's hard to find stuff in there.
There's a lot of information online, especially forums that I've found, but it's all from a bunch of different people, a bunch of different sources, kind of difficult to piece together. So
I'm trying to help him as much as I can, but I'm also so one of the things I really wanted to do is like once he starts learning this, I wanted to learn from a perspective of a new person coming in without being trained on that, and then that's also like we've talked in the past, like when you're putting that group together, it'd be good for him to contribute as somebody that's not like Dale and I were in the sense where this is stuff we build and do all the time, but in the sense of somebody that's coming into this that's a maker, creator, but learning a new thing. So I really want.
Absolutely. So what we were talking about before is easel. And that's what I use for my G code generator, and it's probably the easiest one. You can kind of play around and do some SVG stuff, and you can just import any SVG in there, and then you just export it as their generic G code inside of Easel. That's,
Okay,
that's
I forgot
the
about
easiest
easel.
one to get started
When
with.
I heard y'all saying that earlier, I was like, oh crap, yeah, I gotta get you to start playing with easel.
I can download that and start playing with it.
Yeah,
today,
and
actually.
y'all
That-
tried,
that one's
Carbide
good.
Create, Carbide Create,
You can also use easel for those stuff too.
What was that, Mike? What, were you saying?
Carbide Create. Have you tried that one?
What is
Uh-uh.
it?
Carbide Create.
Carbide
Carb-
Create. Okay.
Yes.
I'll write that down before I forget.
But Easel,
Carbide Create.
Easel's good.
Is that free?
Easel, quick and easy to get, easy to see. And so, and then you'll kind of play into this. It's like we're just we call Illustrator.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so Easel, that's what I export my my stuff in. So I design for 3D printing inside of Fusion, but I haven't designed for CNC yet in there. So I know that's possible, and there is a tutorial that's out there for it in the owners group. And
Yeah, that's what I do.
It
That's
might be
what
in our YouTube playlist on how to download it.
I just put the
And
link
then
if
it will go
anybody.
through those steps. But Easel's a little bit easier to get used to for beginners if you're not used to design in CAD and stuff like that. It's not as big of a jump as like, what do all these buttons do inside of Fusion?
Want to go with me to get the kids so we can get propane?
Yeah. Hey, there's a propane delivery service. It's awesome. I just found. They swap out your 20-gallon tanks for $10. Anyways,
You getting propane over there, Drew?
yeah, we have tons of propane. It's been hard to get. Everybody's been out of propane. Home Depot, MAP gas, oxygen, propane. We couldn't get any of it. And I don't know what was going on for the longest time, so I finally got some. But all our torches were down, everything. But
we
cool.
got plenty down south.
Yeah. Well, I'm in
Here's some
San
test sets.
Antonio.
Yeah.
I'm in San Antonio. It's been crazy.
I'm in Houston. We got.
Oh, it was weird. The last couple of
Right
weeks,
over there,
all our Home Depots, all our Lowe's, even the other places were out. But it's back now. But yeah, so I haven't played with Easel. I forgot about Easel. I haven't played with Easel. And then I played with Lightburn. I was talking to Chris. I'm gonna start working with Lightburn for those other accessories. So I'm exporting stuff as Lightburn. So I have the other one set up now with that mount. And so I got started. I've been trying to do it last week. Sorry, Drew. Tell Chris I'm sorry. I've been trying to get those together. It's been kind of crazy. So
yeah. And so Easel, the instructions on how to load an Easel G code are in the user manual. So you can go through that and it'll walk you through like how to load a G code from Easel. And that's all on the manual. So you can go and find it. Facebook. What was that, Casey? I'm sorry, I can't hear. Drew, I'm gonna mute you.
If you look on the Facebook user group, I created that video that takes it from
SketchUp, right?
SketchUp, from 2D drawing, a technical drawing, save it as a 2D flat file. Then you can actually import that into Easel. It comes in full scale, 1-to-1. You can change your scale, whatever. You load it into there, and then you can resize or change, create your cut depths, etc., and then export as G code that goes right in. I mean, it's all. I mean, those three softwares to me, SketchUp and then Easel and then Makerverse, it doesn't get any simpler than that. I was literally making cuts within 2 days, creating 2D cabinets, actually building cabinets.
Going from SketchUp to Easel to Makerverse.
Yeah, it's in the. If you're on that Facebook user group, just look up the name. My name, it'll pop up. There's a video. It's, I don't know, about a 4-minute video. You watch my screen. I did a screen record. Click.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Cool, because SketchUp's super easy for me. I was trained in SketchUp during school, so
And
now I just gotta learn Easel.
SketchUp Shop, because just like Fusion 360 and SketchUp, neither one of those will export a DXF. That's kind of where they get you with the money, right? That you need to have. But I find SketchUp Shop version gives me full functionality.
Really?
And I can export STLs, 3-dimensional drawing. I can export anything.
everything. Cool.
So I just stick to SketchUp because it's.
So you go out as a DXF. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
What was that?
You use DXF.
I use
process
DXF because Easel will allow you to upload a DXF. It doesn't allow you to upload a DWG.
But you can, or an SVG is another one. So you can make an SVG in like Illustrator or Inkscape or something like that. You can make You can even find like something online that's an SVG file and load that into easel too, and to be able to load that. Because I think can you export from SketchUp?
It'll do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can do vectors, but you can.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think you can export in Google as an SVG as well, but the vector files are more for, well, they're for laser cutting. A lot
And
of
graphic
them.
design. Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep all of their pixels when they grow and when they shrink.
That's right.
Exactly. This is the difference
Rasterized,
between
I think that's what it's called.
rasterized.
Or not rasterized. I think it's rasterized.
Yes.
When is the laser coming out?
So Drew's been helping us prototype it. We're working through some different phases of it to make sure that it works and that it's safe. That's the two big things that we're doing, and then we'll plan that out. But I mean, Drew could maybe give us a little bit of a top.
Let's see it, Drew. Come on,
Drew.
Let's see the prototype.
Drew, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
What's up?
How's it been going with the laser?
That's what I was telling you. So I got the mount made, everything else last week. I adjusted one because I had another one I'd made that I just did off where I could take out the two screws without do a piece. And then talking to Chris, he wanted a custom mount, which I like his design better. It snaps in. So I sent you all the 3D file design. I'm not sure if you 3D printed it yet or not.
I think Chris got it. I think Chris did. I haven't printed it yet.
So I've got it all mounted. I started to last week. we had a bunch of jobs too that's trying to get out. So today, that's why today I'm getting back to working with him on the Maslow, and I want to get him up to speed on the Maslow. I'm trying to get things in a sense where we can do where I can try to get I want him to start training people too. So once he gets set up for things, I want him to start training people, interns, other things to come in. So I'm trying to make him kind of go through those. But I'll have stuff for today. I'll have the laser running today. I'll get that up today. And that's why I also play with Lightburn with it too, because you could do Lightburn or you can actually with that also. Which I don't know if we all played Lightburn yet, but
Lightburn's easy.
Yeah, we have so many lasers. Lightburn would be perfect for that, I think. And except in situations where people want to do scoring with it first, if they want to use the laser to score marks and then go back and cut things. But so I'm gonna play with that a little bit too, so I can get him up on that. So because he knows Lightburn well, he's been using Lightburn for a while with our big lasers.
Awesome. Yeah, we want to try to get it to where it's like you can get all the parts yourself and source it, or you can get kind of the whole complete thing from us. So like some people might already have a laser, then you can like mount it on there and do all that kind of stuff too. So
I really like that JTech though. That JTech laser.
What kind of laser are you using?
That's what we've been testing with is JTech.
Yeah, I've got the JTech over here.
You're getting all top secret info on this call.
Well, I'm excited.
Welcome to open source.
I've known about it, but I haven't been able to work with it, and so you just got to put it together, and I got to learn it so I can start cutting. I got a lot of little things that I need.
Yeah, I'm really excited about getting one to test too. Once you guys get them out and everything, I want to start playing with it for sure.
Yeah, so I was talking about 3D printer. So, but yeah, so I actually laser cut one of our big 130 watt. I laser cut a little mount. So because the JTech has a little magnetic bracket. Yeah. So that way I just snap it in there and then it's magnetic. And then the one I designed for the one I said the 3D file is a little bit different. I set it up so you can 3D print it easily. But yeah, so this is the one we're going to start going today. So
awesome. Yeah. So does anybody else have any CNC questions?
So next week we'll see it next week.
We're gonna hold you to that. No.
I've got a question, if you don't mind, about calibration.
Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I saw both you and David got questions. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What's up, Matt? I see you cut some stuff behind you.
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Let me.
You should be able to. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on this screen, is this the one that we use, the 4 o'clock and the 8 o'clock one, or is this one truly axle to axle on the motor? The distance between motors.
It is axle to axle now. So we changed that to try to change the 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock and trying to come up with a way for it to be the easiest to get it calibrated. Because it's kind of difficult to like line it up in both the center of the axle and the 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. The sprocket itself is 20 millimeters. So if you measure from the top or from the side, then you can subtract 10 and then that'll give you the correct amount. Because we want to try to make it easier to kind of like get that all lined up.
And that reflects what I have. So I measured axle to axle. I have 313, but then if I go to the frame one, I did on this one, I did the 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock position, and so it's basically 20 millimeters more, but is that the right way to do that? So this first one, because this first one, it clearly shows like right into the middle of the axle.
It does. Yes.
Okay.
So I would do the like the length of it. I would go off and make both of them the same number, and make both of them from the center of the axle.
The center of the motor axle. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've noticed I can't cut a circle very well. I'm trying to make, I got a really good idea from the last meetup you guys had to make a centering jig. I really like that idea,
yeah.
But all my circles are really squashed ovals, and I haven't been able to get that right. So,
yeah. So, Casey or Mike, have you guys encountered this with 1.1.2? Because you guys have been using it longer than I have.
No, I haven't. My circles have been pretty decent.
Are those values the same on yours, measuring from the center of the motor?
I remember I did it exactly like the way it is here. I didn't on this one right here, I did it from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and on the other one, I did it from the axle to axle.
Okay.
That's how I did it, and I haven't had any problem.
Yeah, because I believe this is my axle to axle measurement, and I have written down the 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock position, and I had it here. But if you suggest putting it in both, that's fine with me. I just wanted to.
I mean, you can always just try and then see what you get.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? And do a little circle. You don't even have to do a big circle. Do a little 4-inch circle, a 3-inch circle, or something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, I tried doing that for these here, and that worked. But something occurred to me the other day. I really like tools making parts for itself, and so I made these holders for material, like to be onto the board. So if you don't want to drill into the material, you can drill these corner holders on, and then put some stuff on there, because I've got some nice wood that I'd like to machine, and I don't want to drill into the wood, and so I made these little Pac-Man deals to go up on there. So, nice. But I did it on purpose with a dog bone in the middle, so that I wouldn't get the corner squished or whatever. So I'm excited about that. I'm just trying to. My next goal is to get it calibrated and cut out bigger projects and stuff. So. But yeah, it's working pretty well so far. I've been using a 1/4-inch router bit just because that's what I had. I'm going to put the eighth inch one in there this weekend and try to get it calibrated real nice.
Awesome. And if y'all have any questions, y'all could always send an email to support.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. That's all I had.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
David, I saw you had a question.
Yeah, I just hey guys. I have just this morning switched from the desktop 102, I think, to 116. I just literally during the call downloaded it with the setup.
So you upgraded to 1.1.2?
Sorry, that's what I'm running 1.1.2, and I'm going through setup for a new machine. Now I was using it. I was working the motors just fine earlier this morning with the earlier version. Now I've logged in. I've got the setup, and it has. Can I share my screen real quick?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's check it out.
There we go. So I have.
Yes. So earlier when we were talking about the firmware, that we want to make sure that we get the firmware. So it looks like it's not like it's connected, but it's not giving you the right firmware. So okay. I think you need to download the correct firmware. Have you flashed it on yours?
So I just literally just got it a few weeks ago.
Okay.
The new Maslow, or I'm upgrading from I built a Maslow out of a old panel saw.
Oh, okay.
And quite a few modifications, but so no, I haven't flashed the board.
So you have a Maslow, you have an original Maslow, like an OG Maslow?
Well, so the board. So I got the board from you. I got from you guys, and so I got the. I've got everything from the. Here, I'm going to just stop sharing here. I've got the. Well, there's the completed sled.
Okay,
is all done, and this is my panel saw now Maslow, and it was running with Maslow stuff earlier. But I'm doing the upgrade. But anyway, so I'll go. I'm assuming I need to just go to the GitHub, pull down the. What did I see up there? I saw.
You can get it from our resources page too. So that first link, if you go look in the chat, that first link has the firmware.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can click that and then open that in Arduino, and then hopefully compile like my Windows did and not give you weird errors like my Mac. But the main thing is to make sure that you've selected that programming port, like the mistake that I made earlier today, to like make sure that one's selected to pick the correct.
Okay, so
and that is your M2 do board, right? You got an upgrade kit. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And so, but what I'm upgrading then. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
As the upgrade kit, as long as it has that do, then you'll have the correct firmware. You don't need to change anything.
So then, so going back to the machine setup, unable to detect firmware. So do I need to? So which firmware do I need to update then? Because it was telling me I had durable. Gotta stop saying that. I guess
it should be.
1.1G.
I believe is what it should say, because it'll give you a little readout like in here. Let's see if it'll do it on mine if I open up Makerverse. And here's a trick too. You got to make sure that you close Arduino or Cura or anything else that wants to talk to the Arduino board, or they won't play nice together.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Definitely got that. I mean, it's the Makerverse 1.1.2 is the only thing I'm running right now, and it just. Yeah, it's telling me it can't detect so I can pull down the firmware, but I have, that's what's confusing is I have 1.1G. I know I do.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, so this one, I didn't flash it right, or I didn't upload it right. And I just got the same error on this one that I did. So here, if I like that. So on mine, okay. I didn't flash the firmware on this one yet. And it says unable to detect it. So if I disconnect it and then try to like refresh and then pick the port, because it doesn't have the correct firmware, it says that it's unable to hit it. So I think
so that's a MacBook, right?
It is a Mac, yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I go here, well, let's just figure out if it works. Why not? So if I go to Arduino here, so first I have to close Makerverse if I'm going to do Arduino. And then let me go back here and open up on my my downloads here. Maslow do, and then Maslow do INO. And it might take it a second to compile. All right. So tools, we make sure that we've got our programming port, and we've got it on our USB suite. So we'll go ahead and say upload. So while we're like waiting for this to kind of compile here, does anybody else have any questions or anything that we want to cover?
Yeah. Do you find it more friendly to use Makerverse on a Mac or a PC? Because I have both available. I've just been working and designing on the Mac because the
biggest. Can't go wrong with the Mac, man.
I haven't seen a difference on them. Have you guys noticed the difference? I mean, I like Macs more than PCs. That's probably my thing. But like, I use both Macs and PCs. Like I use PCs for like video games and stuff. So
the only thing is that there's more softwares out there for designing and stuff on Windows than there is on Macs. Like, like Aspire, different CAD software that you cannot run on Windows unless you have Boot Camp. I have Boot Camp on my computer. I literally have my MacBook and my Windows inside my MacBook.
Nice.
David, this one right here, so it's done uploading. And even though it had those errors, it still worked. It was done uploading. So I'm going to close Arduino and then open up Makerverse here. And it should give me the firmware readout when I go and look at it.
And you didn't make any changes to the config file or anything? You just took the Duo folder just as is? Okay.
Not for the M2.
So I'm pulling it in right now. And
Great. Standard. And then
I had to update the boards in Arduino.
There it is.
There we go. See? And then now it says it connected. So we've got this right here, and then is the same as this one up here.
Yep.
So we can see like this version right here, this 2020, Bobby in September. The date, I think Matt was right that that's a date.
Okay,
So
then you get all your preferences on the side there.
And then you just say, you can change your name over here. You can put an icon. And I would actually suggest loading an icon, because if you don't, then it'll be blank over here. Just an image of something, and then click create.
Good.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll see a blank space between the house and the gear.
And that's the one you always want to click on to open it.
Yeah. So you'll know that's on there. And you'll click create workspace right there.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll give that a shot. And yeah, I can't wait to get this thing running.
Well, does anybody else have any questions or anything else before we hop off of here? Everybody good?
Oh, actually, one other question. Well, I think I might have figured it out, but
what's up?
I've got to go try a couple things before I ask the question. Actually, I'll come back next week with it.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And
Yeah.
you know, like Mike was talking about too, just send us a message to support@makermade.com and we'll get you going.
Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Talking to y'all. Take care.